I have no idea what 2022 has in store for us, but there are some people from a while ago who think they do, so let's take a quick little peek at the top 10 ancient prophecies that might come true in 2022. Starting off this list, in our number 10 spot, we have war. Starting off this list today, we have a prediction that comes from the ancient prophet Nostradamus himself. In his book of quatrain poems, in which he predicted, sometimes correctly, the future, he wrote, quote, "Under the opposite Babylonian climate, great will be without the outpouring." If you gave me the book of all the Nostradamus predictions with no descriptions as to what I was reading, I wouldn't be able to tell you one thing about it. The guy basically spoke in code, so thank God for all those people out there much smarter than I who can tell us what these all mean. Basically, this little prediction is meant to say that Nostradamus seems to believe that 2022 is when we will see the first climate war. He believes that this war will involve neighboring countries and it will be a fight over dwindling resources. Unfortunately, this prediction isn't one that is too far off base from the way things really are. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Glacier. What would a list of predictions be without the wise words of Baba Vanga? The late clairvoyant and mystic had quite a few predictions for this year, so let's start off with just one. This prediction is in reference to a glacier which she says is going to melt this year, and let's be honest, that really is something that is extremely likely to happen. The thing though is that the darkness of this prediction lies in what is inside this glacier. She claims that once the glacier melts, it is going to release a new sort of virus onto the world, and it's one she says that humans will not be able to handle well. I know, I'm with ya. The literal last thing the world needs right now is some strange virus no one has ever seen before to suddenly be unleashed. I mean, here I am in 2022 still working from home, so no thanks, Baba Vanga. This prediction can stay far, far away from this world. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Big Three. Back with another Baba Vanga prediction. This one is a little less daunting than the last, but it's also a little more unclear as to what exactly she meant by it. Apparently, she said that this year we will see 3 giants unite, as well as a strong dragon that will seize humanity. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea, but there are some people out there who have a few ideas. People are speculating that this prediction is said to be about some large countries that hold a lot of world power all teaming up together. For what exactly? Who's to say for sure? This could potentially be a disastrous prediction if it were to come true, but there's also potential for it to be something spectacular and peaceful. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this one, but I am definitely hopeful. In our number 7 spot today, we have food pills. On this list today, we have a couple predictions that come from W.L. George. He was an English author who, in 1922, gave a bunch of predictions of what he thought the world would be like today. Some of them are shockingly accurate, which is very cool to read about, and some of them have yet to come true, but honestly aren't very far off. Starting with his, today we have a prediction that reads, quote, "It is conceivable, though not certain, that in 2022 a complete meal may be taken in the shape of 4 pills. This is not entirely visionary. I am convinced that corned beef hash and pumpkin pie will still exist." What in the Willy Wonka was going on in the minds of people in 1922? I guess in some ways this does already exist, but I don't think in the way he was meaning. We definitely have little pills, or more so candy, that tastes like a meal, and then we have pills that can give you the vitamins and minerals that would be comparable to eating a meal, but do we have anything that combines the two? I'm not sure if it's a great idea or not, but it just seems like something we probably have the technology for. Is there a market for this? WL has me left with a lot more questions that you think the last 100 years would have answered. Honestly, just give us the Spy Kids microwave and we'll be set. How's that for a prediction? In our number 6 spot today, we have hunger. Alright, another Nostradamus riddle for us here today. He wrote, quote, "Of blood and hunger greater calamity, 7 times oppressed to the marine beach, monarch of hunger, place taken, captivity." That was more confusing than the Baba Vanga one we just talked about, so let's try and decipher this one. Basically, people have explained that this one suggests that Nostradamus was predicting that this year we would see a rise in world hunger, which is a result of an increase in armed conflicts. This one is just bad all around. Firstly, that's a prediction that there's gonna be more bad, more war, more weapons. That's certainly never great on its own. These two things being smashed together certainly makes sense, but it doesn't mean it isn't grim. Let's just hope this is one of those far-off predictions that we never see come to fruition. In our number 5 spot today, we have A Bug's Life. Alright, this is one prediction that definitely came to fruition a couple years ago, so here I am asking, what's stopping 2022 from unfortunately holding the same kind of fate? Baba Vanga has predicted that 2022 will see a locust problem of biblical proportions. Okay, she didn't say that exactly. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but she did say that she thinks there will be a big old locust problem coming this year. This is something that was seen in India. While it sounds like it would only be a disgusting issue, this one is actually a very large issue for a multitude of reasons. Locusts can eat more than their own body weight each day, and they reproduce very quickly. This means that they can easily devour crops and can be a major problem for food supplies. Honestly, aside from all the important major issues, I just hate bugs so much, so this one sounds like an absolute nightmare. Like, absolutely no thank you. In our number 4 spot today, we have Paris. For one last Nostradamus prediction for this list today, we have a super worrisome one. He apparently wrote, quote, "All around the great city will be soldiers lodged by fields and cities." This is said to mean that for 2022, he is predicting that Paris will be under siege. For what reasons? Well, that remains unclear. There are other ways to interpret this prediction, like perhaps it's more so stating that the city will just be kind of closed off for a while, but truly who knows? I wish the people who made these predictions were just a little more direct with them, but hey, who am I to critique Nostradamus? At the end of the day, the good news is that this is just a prediction, and Nostradamus has been wrong before. But it just puts people a little bit on edge to hear these scary thoughts. In our number 3 spot today, we have energy. Another prediction that comes to us from W.L. George is this one that reads, quote, "Coal will not be exhausted, but our reserves will be seriously depleted, and so will those of oil. One of the world dangers a century hence will be a shortage of fuel, but it is likely by that time a great deal of power will be obtained from tides, from the sun, probably from radium and other forms of radial energy, while it may also be that atomic energy will be harnessed." This is one prediction that certainly already has, in some ways, come to fruition, but there is still more that is yet to be addressed in this one. Talking about the depletion of natural resources is not only a reality, but it was definitely quite forward-thinking for 1922. We can, of course, already harness the power of the sun through solar energy. Although it's not the most widespread thing, many people are rerouting to this more green form of energy. I think the most astonishing thing is the idea of atomic energy, which is also something that is becoming more and more widespread as the years roll on. In our number 2 spot today, we have disasters. This is one prediction that comes from Baba Vanga, and if I didn't know any better, it's one that makes me feel almost as if she had information as to what our world today would look like. She predicted that 2022 would be a year where we see a rise in the amount of natural disasters, more specifically earthquakes and tsunamis. This is made a little more eerie by the fact that she is very well known for having an accurate prediction of the 2004 tsunami, so let's hope that one was just an eerie fluke. She claims that several Asian countries, as well as Australia, will be the hardest hit by these disasters. Nostradamus also has a natural disaster prediction for 2022, and he says that Japan is going to have an earthquake that is going to strike in the middle of the day. It is tough to say how accurate or inaccurate these predictions are, and considering the implications of them, it's definitely nerve-wracking to hear. In our number 1 spot today, we have Work Week. Another W.L. George prediction for you today. This one reads, quote, "Americans will be less enterprising and much more pleasure-loving. They will have rebelled against long hours. The chances are that in 2022, few people will work more than 7 hours a day, if as much. The effect of this, which I am sure sounds regrettable to many of my readers, will, in my opinion, be good." This is actually a really interesting one. Not only is it very cool and fascinating to see someone having predicted this kind of thing all the way back in 1922, which is before the Second World War, but it's actually a huge topic of conversation right now. There are many places around the world that are cutting back their work weeks to lesser days or lesser hours, and it's a really controversial thing. Some people are really on board, and some are worried about the future of this. Let's have some civil discussions about this in the comments and weigh some pros and cons, especially if you've experienced both sides of the coin. Is one really better? Could working less in turn make some people more productive? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Quote, "All around the great city will be soldiers lodged by fields and cities." This is said to, that's it. Lodged by fields and cities. Oops, I don't know what I did, but I did something. Hope that goes away. Guess we'll find out. Oh, go away. Predicted that 2022 would be a year where we see a rise in the, The what? Nostradamus also has a natural disaster prediction for what? I almost said for 1922.